YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the Premium Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, Master Grade Gundam F90. So, I personally was not, I was technically aware of the existence of the mobile suit, but never really knew the story about this. And even to this point, I really have not much to say about it, because I'm still not sure about the full story regarding the F90. But what I am aware is that F90 has these things called the mission packs, which are basically like expansion packs / add-on armor. So there were only a few. Technically, in terms of the document, it says it's supposed to have about 26, which is the amount of the alphabet A to Z, and only a few of them were actually fully made. So currently what Bandai is doing, they're actually doing that, and anything that didn't have like depending on the alphabet letter, and if up to this point they never did it, they are now making their own original designs for that. So for those who know about this aspect, might be wondering if I have ordered any of the expansion packs. For now, I have only pre-ordered one, which was the recent one, which was the Type O, and the Type U, which was the most, some people tend to call it the more goofy ones. I'll show a picture here. So one of the types, I believe it's the officer type, Type O. It's a pretty simple looking design. It's basically you get a new backpack and a new beam rifle, and you put the beam sabers in a different position. It's a pretty simple design, which I do like. And then the other one, which is the more unique one, which is basically you slap on a giant rocket on top of the mobile suit. And I found that a little bit goofy, but yeah, it's also a very unique case, which is why I pre-ordered it. And also I have pre-ordered the F90 Intercept version, so which is a full-fledged kit. So I am pretty excited to get that as well. All right, so let's get on to the review. So as usual, we're going to go with our usual routine on the components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the mobile suit, the Gundam F90 itself. Now, in terms of story-wise, and according to the manual, there is a Unit 2, which is basically a color variant. But according to the wiki, they said there were 3 made, Unit 1, 2, and 3. I'm not sure what happened to Unit 3 at this point. But other than that, hand-wise, I am currently using the fist hands. These are the hands where you swap the fingers out. So there's no moving fingers other than the thumb, which I do prefer. And then you get 2 beam saber hilts on the backpack, and that's pretty much it in terms of weapons on the mobile suit, and other than the Vulcans. And here is what you're supposed to get. So we got a few stuff. Number 1, we get beam saber effect parts, but unlike your typical pink color or yellow ones, we get a clear blue, which I do like. It's been a while since we've seen these colors for a while, so yeah. And then we get a shield, very basic looking shield, but also very efficient looking shield, because it's big, it does actually get the job done. And then we have 2 ammo clips that you can attach here. And yeah. There's also another peg so that you can attach to the arm, so if you don't want to use the handle itself, you can always use the peg. And well, this one, I guess you could consider it as a leftover piece, because you get 4 in total, but you only use 3. One of them is that goes onto the beam rifle itself. Oops, sorry about that. Which goes onto the back of the beam rifle itself. 2 were stored inside the shield, as you guys saw, and this one is basically just a leftover piece at this point. And here we have the beam rifle. Very Gundam Mark II-ish looking design, but still, I really like the basic looking design. And we have a sticker here. Of course, behind the sticker is a clear piece, so just keep that in mind. And currently I just attached the trigger finger hand just to save some time. And then you get 2 trigger finger hands for left and right, so that's pretty good. And then we get these multi-purpose hands, but in this case, or at least for this kit, you're going to be using these hands for the beam saber. So yeah. And then we get a action-based connector. And here's our more. So these would be considered more of leftover pieces. This kit does come with those shoelaces material and these wires. So unlike comparing it with the Mark II, they don't actually pop out, or they don't really show that much. They usually go inside the feet. 2 of them go inside the feet, and then there's one that goes in the ankle. So they're not too visible. So personally, it wouldn't make a big difference if you didn't even use it. So, but still, they still provide it. And these are the ones that you have to cut. So just get a ruler ready. And here we have a sticker sheet. As you can see, I used pretty much everything except for the eyes. I'll get into that later, because yeah, I felt like the sticker combination was a little bit odd on this kit. And then we get a water slide decal sheet. So we get the big giant F90 symbols that should be going onto the shield, shoulders, or any place you want to attach to. So you can go crazy for those who love water slides. Alright, so let's get on to the articulation. So let me just get this out of the way. A lot of you guys were actually asking what this stand is or where you can get it. I can't tell you where you can get it because obviously I bought mine in my own country, but yeah, I have replied to your comments regarding that, so yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Okay, so let's see what we got. So if there's one thing I should explain is that these are one of those kits that does not use any polycaps, so everything is ABS plastic as far as I can tell, because even the plates had the label of ABS. So before we go on to the articulation, I just want to mention F90 being one of those future mobile suits like the Crossbone Gundam, the Victory Gundam, the F91, yada yada. So you can see comparing to a more of the more typical Universal Century Master Grade, you can see it's a little bit shorter. And even for real, according to the height, the RX-78 is about 18 meters. The F90 is like 14.8 meters. So you can see it's definitely much more shorter. At least kit-wise, it's taller than an HG, so for those who considers the size very important, just be aware of it. Alright. So, not using any polycaps, at first some parts may feel a little bit stiff, so just be careful. Okay, let's start with the head. I really do like the color combinations. Granted, it's still the typical traditional red, yellow, green, not green, the red, yellow, blue combination, but still, it has its charms at this point. So we're looking at the head. Now the V-fin, it's pretty interesting because usually we would see the V-fin more on the outside section, but now it's more in the inside section at this point. So here is one of those head cameras. You can see that's a blue piece, but of course behind that is another clear piece. And then there is a back head camera. That one is just, I believe that is just applied to a plastic piece, so no need to be, crazy about that one. So the eyes. The eyes actually are colored, they are separated. So you can see the eyes itself are clear pieces. They're separated, and then there's a molding on the gray part. You might be able to see that section right over there. So what I did is that they tell you to, you attach the clear piece into the piece, which makes the entire eyes, and then they tell you to apply a whole sticker on top of it. What I did was I felt like that didn't really feel like it, so what I did is just color the clear pieces, the eye sections, and with metallic blue, and then attached it in, and I think it worked okay. But still, and just in case if I didn't like it, I could always apply the sticker later, so it's not a big deal. So just be aware that you have some clear pieces inside the head, and then the eyes are separated pieces at this point. So if you are into coloring those, you might actually have a much more better time than me. And so head-wise, you can go down that much, up not so much actually, unless I'm doing something wrong. 360 twist, I would like to, but it's not able. So you can maybe go about 90 degrees to the side, and that's pretty much it. The main body was pretty basic when you think about it, but we still do get a decent ab crunch going on here. And then we have this part, which I'm going to assume is an extra thruster. And then another interesting part that I noticed while building this figure, or not figure, this kit, is that the inside of the cockpit, or when you're building the figure, the inside section here, there is actually a clear 360 style cockpit in there, in a clear piece, which is something pretty, how should I say, unusual. And I'm trying to get the cockpit open, but it's really not working. So I'll show you guys later. And then let's look at the shoulders. Now the shoulders, once again, the shoulders may feel a little bit stiff because there is no polycaps inside. So they are pieces that look like polycaps, but they're not actually made out of polycaps. So these are one of those kits where also the shoulder and the arms are not connected. So these are separated pieces. So the shoulder can move up that much, which allows us the arm to go about 90 degrees or slightly more, depending on how you do it. And then we still do get a 360 twist on the arm itself, and then we have a nice, pretty decent bend going on there. And while, despite how separated they are, you are still able to go 360. Hands are your typical ball jointed hands, and then the shoulder movement, you can go forward and backward that much. Alright, and then let's look at the... Oh, and then I believe there is one more rotating point on the lower arm, like that. So this is also one of those cases where you will not have the Alex syndrome. What the Alex syndrome is basically, I explained this multiple times, where when we always look at the Gundam NT1 or Alex, the Gatling guns are always on the side, but that in that case the arms are actually rotating 90 degrees like that. So if you put the joints like this in the front, the Gatling gun should be on the back. So with that, it does become a little bit troublesome when it comes to posing. But if you have a rotating point on the lower arm, that is not going to be a problem anymore. Okay, so now let's get the backpack. The backpack is a pretty basic looking backpack going on here. We have the moving thrusters going on, and then the beam sabers can, the stored up section can move a bit. So you can move them like that, and then you can spread them out. And then all these pieces you see are color separated pieces. Of course, this one right over here is a sticker. Anything that looks like a triangle is pretty much a sticker. And then we have these clips going on here, which are pretty much meant for holding the beam rifle in, at least for this kit. I assume, depending on which mission pack you use, you're going to be using those holes, or maybe you're going to be attaching something else here. So, yeah. But for now, if you have just only the F90 kit, this is pretty much meant for holding or storing the beam rifle onto the back skirt. Okay, now let's look at the side skirts. Side skirts are pretty basic. There's not much movement, and yeah, I'll get into this later. Actually, this is a important aspect regarding the kit. And then front skirts, once again, not so much movement. Back skirt does not move at all. Leg wise, we have a nice swivel going on here, side swivel. And then we can go, because of the front skirt, we can't go pretty much 90 degrees. But if you can work your way around or modify it, I'm pretty sure it can go a little bit more. And then to the side, not so much because of the side skirt. But bend wise, we have a nice decent bend going on there. And then we have a nice jointed feet. So we have a nice pivot. I believe this is not a ball jointed section. There's like multiple joints going on there, which allows us to do some great movement. So we have a nice pivot. We can go forward and backward that much. We can see how the ankles are moving. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the legs as far as I can tell. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the kit. So there's only, what I can do from here is to show you guys a demonstration regarding the weapons, and then explain what the main gimmick, or how you use the main gimmick regarding this kit. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So currently we have everything like taken off. So one of the main gimmicks, as I explained at the beginning of the video, is the mission pack. So if you buy a mission pack, which is basically you're pretty much buying equipment sets. So and then once you have those equipment sets, you're gonna have to take off these blue parts off, and then pretty much attach the stuff onto the kit. So I'm gonna explain where you attached off. So currently, here's everything that you got. According to the manual, they call these hard points, and then you have 11 of them, meaning like 11 points where you can connect those equipment. So let's start from the top. Number one, I think the first one, I guess I should explain, would be the ones on the shoulders. So on top of the shoulders, we had these blue pieces on top. You take it off and you will reveal multiple holes. Square ones, round ones, something that looks like that you can clip on the end or something like that. So those are two of them. And I also got the cockpit opened up. Oddly, I'm not sure this is a odd design, but you can't really see the inside from here still, but still behind this section here is actually a clear plastic round piece. I just wanted to mention that. And number two, not only did I take off the parts there, I forgot to mention that there's a gimmick where it allows you, at first, because of the front skirt, the legs could not move a bit, but with this extra gimmick, you can kind of extend the front skirt out, and then you can move the joints holding the legs to the outwards. While it was originally inside, like that, it was actually on the inside, but I can pull it out. You can see it's actually now extended here. So it was like inside there, but now I extended it out, which according to the manual does tell you that it gives you much more movement, and which it actually does. So you do have that gimmick. Of course, the front skirt may look a little bit odd because you have extended the front skirts out. I'm not sure this also relates to the mission packs, but yeah, I just personally found that to be a little bit of an odd gimmick. Okay, so one thing you might notice, yes, the front skirts, the yellow parts that you had right over here are also hard points. You take them off and it will reveal holes. And I believe once again on the front skirts we have these triangle, red triangle, so that's another sticker going on there, not a color separated piece. And then another one would be the one on the backpack. The one with the white triangle here is another hard point which connects obviously equipment. And then on the side skirts, once again you take off the blue piece and then it will reveal another hole. Now regarding the side skirt parts of the blue piece, as you just saw, the yellow piece is a separate piece, but they don't stay in there that well. So if you're having like trouble or being annoyed by this small yellow piece keep popping out, you can maybe glue it on or maybe like that. Okay, and then another hard point is the arm. So you have this part, which I believe this square is pretty much for the shield, but I guess depending on the mission pack, I guess they could use this part as well. But for now, you originally would have this piece on top like that, and then yeah, and once again that yellow triangle is a sticker with the black sections as well. So here is another peg over here. And then on the legs, you would have this part covering right over here, but now you have another multiple holes to attach equipment parts. So yeah, I guess at this point, any of the new mission packs that comes out, and if it does get my interest, I might be buying some of them. I cannot guarantee all, but still maybe a few. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the gimmicks. So I'll be right back with the equipment demonstration. Okay, I'm back. So just to end this off, I just wanted to pretty much attach everything because equipment-wise, regarding just the F90 itself, it's a very simple equipment layout. You have a beam rifle, 2 beam sabers on the backpack, and the shield. So it's when you just look at the mobile suit, it's a very basic mobile suit at the same time. So I was thinking if there was anything I forgot to mention is number one, there is one more sticker I forgot to mention, is this sticker, not on the feet but on the ankle guard right over here. This black sticker with this black section with the red triangle is a full-fledged sticker. Behind this, if you don't apply this, would be just a plain gray colored piece like this section right over here. So if you feel like you don't want to attach the sticker, it's fine, because personally, other than the small triangle ones, I think these stickers aren't really that necessary. So for now, just to end this off, I attached everything as I mentioned. So I have the right hand having the beam rifle, the left hand giving it the beam saber, and then on the shield I attached and on the left arm I attached the shield. So I've noticed that the peg on the shield is a little bit on the short side. So even though I keep attaching it onto the arm, it does easily pop out. So for those who don't like that, you can always use the handle manually. Of course, I always had problems attaching the hand with this handle, so I'm pretty much not going to be using this. But another thing is that if you don't like attaching it onto the arm, according to the manual, you can always pop this section off, and then you can connect the peg onto the square hole right over there, and then you can attach it to the backpack. So for those who like to attach their shields onto the backpack, this is going to be a big help. And that's pretty much it for the review. So what I can say is that it's a very nice concept. It's a basic mobile suit, but with those upcoming multiple mission packs, it's going to be a really fun kit, and I can already see multiple people buying multiple of this just to have all those mission packs attached to it. Other than that, for those who would love to customize with all those extra holes around the kit, this is going to be a really big fun for those who love to customize mobile suits. And that's pretty much it. So once again, thank you for watching this review. This was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive Master Grade Gundam F90. If you guys got any questions or requests in comment below, I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!